Janelle Slade. Well, the report is out. April's jobless rate soared, the worst month for American unemployment since the Great Depression. 20.5 million jobs have been lost. This averages out to be a little over 14% unemployment jobless rate. Economists were predicting the unemployment rate could be as high as 20%. One silver lining, analysts say job growth should resume by Memorial Day. Well, it might surprise you, but Costco's April sales fell as consumers eased off on panic buying. It's the first month Costco sales have dropped in years. Some of the store's services like food courts and travel bookings were closed. So were the optical, hearing aid, and photo departments. Prior to April, Costco profited from shoppers overbuying for the pandemic. The store's online sales soared, rising 87% as consumers hunkered down at home. And if you're planning to head to Costco this weekend, remember, you must wear a mask. And here's something to savor this noon, a business that's doing better than ever in Great Falls. Brian's Top Notch Cafe has seen an 80% increase in business. The owner says prior to coronavirus shutdowns, business had been slow, so he started using social media and to-go services, along with daily Facebook posts to reach a larger audience. Now, more orders are coming in, nearly doubling Brian's Top Notch Cafe business. Phase 1 of Montana's reopening plan is expanding. Governor Steve Bullock announced gyms along with theaters and museums will be allowed to open a week from today. All of the businesses must cut their capacity in half. Gym staff will be required to wipe down equipment as often as possible throughout the day. Employees will be asked to wear masks at all times, and public health officials say gym members should do the same whenever possible. Theaters and museums will also be under a strict cleaning policy, and customers must be able to sit 6 feet apart at all times. Well, a first for Montana State University and its graduating class. The Honors College kicked off the weekend-long celebration from home. All graduation commencement ceremonies this weekend, including yesterday's, were virtual. Graduating students received a personalized invite from the college dean with a link to view the streamed program. Diplomas will be mailed to the students in July. Well, it's now time to check in on what we can expect for this Mother's Day weekend. Good afternoon, Ed. We're hoping it's good.
Yeah, Janelle, we're looking for temperatures to be fairly comfortable through the weekend, but we do have some concerns that a week ago really didn't look to be all that drastic. Here's the drought monitor for today, and you can see there are certainly some dry areas through the western U.S., including northern California, where it was an extreme drought as of last week. In Montana, a few dry patches, but here's the outlook as of today. Look how much it's expanded into eastern Montana, southern Montana, and northern Wyoming. So the dry conditions are around, and we've got more areas of extreme drought that are now popping up into Colorado. We'll let you know if the weekend forecast will give us a little relief on that front, plus the rest of the details coming up.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Now here's some difficult news to take this noon. In Missoula, a veteran service dog was found with multiple gunshot wounds after he went missing. Missoula Animal Control received a call for what initially thought to be a stray dog wandering around a neighborhood Wednesday night. Now Luca was shot once in the shoulder and twice in the head, even requiring surgery to remove a bullet lodged near his jaw. Missoula Animal Control is asking the community to come forward if they know any information about the circumstances leading to Luca's injuries. Luca fortunately had a microchip and could be traced back to the shelter where he was adopted, tying him to a local veteran. And a disturbing story out of Butte, where police arrested a man accused of illegally entering a nursing home looking to rape residents. Jeffrey Westfall was spotted by staff trying to enter several rooms. They immediately called police and he was taken into custody. No one was injured in the incident. Management at the facility say they are upgrading security in the wake of this incident. Now, Westfall is a registered sex offender and is currently in jail. He faces charges of felony burglary and attempted rape. Well, in Great Falls, Benefice Health System providers have broken ground on an all-new women's and children's center in the former Pierce parking lot at the Benefice East campus. The new facility will feature a playground-like atmosphere with playgrounds on every floor. Now, the center will help meet a variety of patient needs, from pediatric care to women's health and basic lab services. The 3-story building will also allow providers of various fields to work in close quarters and enhance the quality of their care. The Women's and Children's Center is set to open late next year. Well, the state today now reporting 2 new coronavirus cases out of Gallatin County. Those cases both reported out of Gallatin County late yesterday afternoon. The state COVID map shows as of midnight 22 active cases in Montana and 6 people hospitalized. Still, for the most of Montana, the news continues to be good in the battle to keep the coronavirus from spreading. You can see on this map all the counties in green. That's 26 of Montana's 56 counties have not reported a single case. Well, just 2 Wyoming counties, Platte and Weston, have not reported any cases so far. Overall, state health authorities reported 4 new cases yesterday. The good news, 12 people recovered to bring the total number of people infected to 48. Well, across the state and country, hospital patients and families often have a need for care from the clergy. But as COVID-19 has changed everything and how that care is given, MTN's David J. reports.
May our prayers rise up to you, O Lord.
Daily Mass is one way for chaplains to help patients at St. Vincent Healthcare.
One of our chaplains is a full-time Catholic priest, and he provides Mass every day of the week. But because we're not supposed to be gathering together in groups of people, he performs Mass to an empty chapel. Those services, however, are live streamed right into every patient room.
Billings Clinic chaplains also need to use the technology.
Go electronic and do telephonic chaplaincy. So we're all learning to change in this world.
Here at Billings Clinic, the clergy parking spaces are empty, and that's pretty much most of the time. And that's because, for the most part, outside clergy aren't allowed inside the hospital. And it's the same thing here at St. Vincent. These parking spots are empty, and it's changed the way the chaplains do their work.
We receive a lot of phone calls from folks, either from patients themselves or from their families, saying, in the absence of our pastor being able to go up and see our loved one, could you do that for us?
And they have a new challenge when they do meet in person.
We rely so much on body language. With a mask on our face and the mask on the patient's face, we lose half of our ability to read those things.
For patients, a hospital stay brings about a need for a chaplain.
When people are in the hospital, and especially under these current conditions, they have a tendency to kind of think more than usual about, let's say, the things of the Lord or their situation. And so we get a lot of calls of people who want to talk to a chaplain.
When people end up in the hospital, there's a natural sense of anxiety. We can all in these times get tunnel vision, and we forget all the blessings that we have around us.
The Lord is there. He's walking this journey with you. Reach out, depend on your family, depend on your friends. They're there for you. Pray.
In Billings, David J., MTN News.
Thanks, David. And the statewide, or the chaplains at the hospitals can help people of all denominations and religions. Well, still ahead on your noon news, we are hitting the books with the opening of Willow Creek School to study up on getting back to class in the midst of coronavirus. The time now is 12:08, but first, Ed's in next with your statewide weather forecast.
West Montana, but as warm as the mid-60s already in Jordan and Glasgow, right behind at 64 degrees, 56 right now in Sheridan, Wyoming, 52 in Livingston. But there's a weather system that's starting to move in across the northern portion of the state. And while it doesn't have a huge influence on winds, we are seeing a little around Cutbank. Great Falls, you've seen some stronger gusts from time to time, and that's starting to push down towards Bozeman and Livingston as well. The storm system is pushing basically right down the north central portion of the state, wrapping around this low. That's creating the winds and the blue arrows here. But notice across northern Montana as well, see the silver and blue flickers. That's lightning strikes right along the Montana-Canadian border. So we'll continue to watch that system drop down. Some areas of snow showers in the higher elevations, obviously a little thunderstorm activity and some rain showers to go along with that. And that's one of a series of disturbances that's going to drop through the region here this weekend. So here's the low. The strong upper level winds are coming out of the northwest. So this is just going to grab onto these disturbances and keep pulling them through as we get through the weekend. Now, the initial disturbance here affecting mainly central Montana. That's going to drop out as we get later into the afternoon. Those northwesterly winds continue to drive the next weather system in that will start to slide through eastern Montana into North Dakota tomorrow. This looks to be a stronger system. It'll create a little more rain, certainly some wind as it moves through eastern Montana and the Dakotas, and we'll pick up some accumulations out of this as well as some snow for some of the higher elevations. We look up even into Manitoba, some snow there. Now, as this drives the system down, that system sinks out of the way overnight heading into tomorrow, and right on its tail, here comes another one. So we'll just see this continue through the weekend and into early next week. But it'll also be driving the temperatures down a little bit, especially as we look east of the Continental Divide. This area of high pressure just holds in place and then drives these upper level winds down and across the region. Let's take this into next week. We'll drive it out to about Tuesday into Wednesday. Indications are there we could be looking at some cooler weather, developing rain and snow showers. Now, exactly the timing and the intensity on this, still a big question mark, but look for some changes as we start getting into next week. Temperatures today will be anywhere 50s, 60s across most of the region. The most active weather we've been pointing out in central Montana. The beginnings of that next wave start to move into northeastern Montana by later this afternoon and this evening. Temperatures will be mainly in the 30s early tomorrow, and that system drives through. Again, the winds are stronger where the blue arrows are here into eastern Montana and into the Dakotas, but we'll look for some sunshine by later tomorrow. With the 30s in the morning, we'll see mainly the 50s for tomorrow afternoon. A little bit warmer in some locations of western Montana. Missoula, you might even be close to 70 degrees by the end of the day, with showers and then wind still hanging on for eastern Montana into the afternoon, but the showers themselves will start to ease up. 3-day outlook, looking at west of the Divide, you'll see the temperatures back off a little after tomorrow into Sunday for Mother's Day. Great Falls and Helena looking for increasing clouds by the end of the weekend and cooler than average temperatures, but your chance of showers starts to ease up after today with more sunshine tomorrow afternoon. Butte and Bozeman also looking at a dry Saturday and a few more clouds on Sunday. The eastern plains are going to be a little more active around Glendive and Billings. There's the weather. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Ed. Well, here in Montana, along with a few others, the small community of Willow Creek reopened its school yesterday, making it one of the first schools in the country to do so. MTN's Cody Boyer was there as kids headed back to class.
From social distancing precautions on school buses to the hallways to even in the classroom, the staff here at Willow Creek Public School have been preparing for this moment for days. They say they are not taking this lightly.
I've trusted them for the last several years to take care of my kids. Why would I not trust them now?
For the first time since the pandemic closed Montana's schools, the little town of Willow Creek had 2 school buses picking up kids again.
I'm thankful that Bonnie listened to the parents and that she gave the kids an opportunity to finish out their school year.
Erica Wall dropped off her kids too.
I've never doubted that the school hasn't cared for my kids.
One by one, staff and teachers greeted them, swabbing for temperatures at the door.
We're putting all the safety measures that we possibly can into opening.
To get off the bus, kids have to take turns, but watching closely, memories are hard to lose. Some kids stretched out their arms for a hug they've been waiting for, but couldn't get.
They miss their teachers, the teachers miss their students. It's a family here. Arena wants to tell her teacher goodbye. I mean, she misses her teacher so much. She called her teacher last week and talked to her for almost an hour about everything but school. Just all the things that are happening in her life because she feels like her teacher needs to hear that.
The school is among the first to reopen across the country, with only about 40 kids out of 56 returning at their parents' requests. It's a reality Wall and teachers like Haley Hurst understand, but no others might not.
In a big school, I mean, Bozeman, there's no way it could open up.
I think that the hardest thing for me is that I'm not going to be able to run and just give them the biggest hug ever.
At least they'll be able to get back into the classroom, be a part of the instruction, and have the teacher guidance to continue through the year.
Like Lauer's father, Wall hopes her kids graduate from Willow Creek as well. Early memories, she hopes, that will be remembered for more than a virus.
I don't want my kids to remember this virus that consumed everyone's life. They need some normalcy in their life, and Willow Creek can offer that to the kids.
In Willow Creek, Cody Boyer, MTN News.
Thanks, Cody. Up next, your latest ag news with Russell Nimitz. Stay with us.
Hi everybody, it's time for your Farm and Ranch news. Well, during a White House event, which was also attended by Agriculture Secretary Sonny Perdue, along with Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, President Trump announced that he's asked the U.S. Justice Department to look into allegations that U.S. meat processors broke antitrust laws as prices paid to U.S. livestock producers have declined even as consumer demand remains strong and meat processors enjoy record profits.
I've asked the Justice Department to look into it, okay? I've asked them to take a very serious look into it because it shouldn't be happening that way, and we want to protect our farmers, but they're looking into that very strongly.
Now, the president's comments come on the heels of a recent letter to U.S. Attorney General William Barr by several state attorney generals, including Montana's Tim Fox, requesting an investigation to determine if meat processors have entered into agreements that deprive U.S. consumers and livestock producers a competitive market. Of course, just a month ago, the Montana Stock Growers Association joined in with 22 other state cattlemen groups, also requesting an investigation of beef processing margins by the Department of Justice, which resulted from two recent extreme market shifts due to a packing plant fire in Holcomb, Kansas last summer, and of course, more recently, due to COVID-19. Well, stay with us. We'll have more ag news right after this. Time in its 50-year history, the Wheat Quality Council's Hard Red Winter Wheat Tour has been canceled this year due to COVID-19, but rest assured, a backup plan is in the works. Aaron Harries is the Vice President of Research and Operations at Kansas Wheat and says plans are being made to conduct a limited and virtual tour of the Kansas wheat crop during the week of May 18th.
So in lieu of actually having people, maybe 100 people traveling around the state in cars, we're going to try a virtual tour where basically we're going to ask volunteers in different parts of the state to go out in wheat fields on different days, provide us some yield estimates, some reports on the ground, then submit those back to us at the Kansas Wheat Office. And our goal is to try to release average yield for each day.
And Aaron says they'll be working with certified crop advisors to make yield and quality observations of the crop and share that information during this year's virtual tour.
They've already got that agronomic background. They know where the wheat fields are. We'll provide them with a yield formula that we typically use and ask them to go out in the fields. We'll talk to some extension agents and certainly some farmers too. And then there will be some of us who travel around the state in our cars and do some of the routes and get some on the ground reports during the day. So we'll do it just like any other tour. We'll do it by crop districts, and we'll cover 3 days, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and try to make it as close to reality as possible.
Andy says organizers will provide some more information about this year's plan, Wheat Quality Council's Hard Red Winter Wheat virtual tour, as soon as it's available. In the meantime, though, people can stay tuned at #WheatTour20 for future updates. That's a look at your farm and ranch news. Have a great day.
Thanks, Russell. Well, check out this 400-pound former Montana resident. Dakota the black bear loves when bath time rolls around. He was orphaned in the Treasure State but found a home at an Oregon zoo. Now, zookeepers say his splashing is common as he is, quote, quite a goofy bear. Dakota is 10 years old and has been at the Oregon Zoo since 2010. Okay, Ed, beat that cuteness.
There's no way.
With your weather forecast.
That video finally makes me understand why people like cat videos. That one's just, it's really cute. Yeah. Let's take a look. Temperatures today are going to be mainly into the 50s, 60s. In fact, we're going to see cooler temperatures tomorrow. A line of showers moving across the region is going to bring cooler temperatures overall by the time we get to around Mother's Day, and that's going to continue into early next week.
Thanks, Ed. We'll see you next week.